Hello, here we are in the wilds of Eildon on a very bright and very beautiful day. I mean, look at that light. So I'm sitting in the shade. Talking about light, the book I'm going to review for you now is called A Country of Eternal Light by Paul Dalgarno. It comes to us from Fourth Estate. Boy, oh boy. This has to be, so far, I mean, I know the year has only just started, but I would be putting money on this one, that it will be a favourite for very many people, as it has been for me, and always, will be for the rest of my memory of reading. It's an absolute stunner. Why? What is it that I liked so much about this book? And it was quite it was a read unlike very many others that I've had, and I think one of the reasons for that is that we have, Dalgarno has created a character who is, for me, ultimately incredibly memorable. We start with someone called Margaret Bryce, and this is when you are in the opening chapters of the book. He situates you inside this woman's mind, so she's recounting, as it turns out, her life. And this life, she recounts in sort of flitting episodes. It's a zigzag of a story, spanning 6 decades and against the backdrop of 3 countries. So we start in Scotland and then through the lives of her daughters, go to Spain and then Melbourne. So we have, but a lot of it is set in Scotland. You realise quite fast, and Dalgarno does this with immense wit, that when Margaret is referring to herself, she refers to her as bodily not existing anymore. So we realise quite fast, and this is not a spoiler, that we are in the mind of a ghost. And Margaret, I think this was one of the things that sort of gave me such immense joy in this book, is that we feel, as we're listening to it, that Margaret is very much surprised by what it is that her memory does, because she's sort of dictated in these flits through time. I mean, her spatio-temporal itinerary is astonishing to behold, that she flits through time to this episode in this, way back when she was a very small child, to later when she's, a telephone operator, one of those moments where she's become, the poster girl for, the new bride, and to her relationship with her husband, to having these young children. And it's not sequential, as we feel that this is also kind of a performance of the way memory works, that we're hot back there and then we're going forward there, and goes from then right into the current, to the current sort of our time, where he does reference the pandemic and what a COVID existence is, but definitely not dwelling on that. It's not the point of the book, but it's, I suppose, not just this amazing sort of collage of scenes of a life, but it's also that Margaret Bryce, who is our main character, is someone whose hand you hold all the way through this journey, and you sigh with her and you laugh with her, and you the drollery of her saying, well, going for this walk with no legs, always referring to the bodily experience and how it is no longer a thing. But there is a sense reading this book, and this is, again, one of the beauties of Dalgarno's writing, is he manages to keep you laughing, he manages to get that gut punch of poignancy, but there is a very slight sense all the time of something being missing. Now, we know Margaret's body is missing, but there's a little disquiet or an unease that builds, and it is absolutely pivotal to the story. Look, it is one of those rare reads. You've probably, seen a couple of reports about, or a couple of reviews on how terribly good this book is, and don't ignore them. This is for me one of those reads that will definitely be sitting up there as a contender for awards And it's not just for how the content is done or the structure of the story, it's his writing. Dalgarno manages to be, he's conjured this character with huge empathy and huge depthness, and in every sentence he's both deep and whimsical. And I don't know how he does that, but I can tell you I like it, and I hope you will like it too.